Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I am your host, Ty Christensen. And Holdo. I've got Jordan Christensen here.
Did you say Holdo? It's Hondo, Ty. Get it right?
Oh, I watched it last night late. And the election, which is still not ended. So
that's okay.
I'm just going to keep going on and on and on and on.
Hondo.
Hondo. Jordan.
Hondo, Ty.
Hondo. Sounds like mahalo in a way. It's like a one phrase that means everything, you know? And I'm also joined by newcomer Samuel Culbertson.
Hey. Yep, I'm here this time. Hopefully. Stay on there.
Thrilled to have you on the podcast. All right. So today...
I know, we were supposed to have him on Hereditary, but, you know, we couldn't get that worked out. But now we finally have him on, so... Maybe we'll hear you can throw in your thoughts on Hereditary at the end of the podcast.
It's been a while since I've watched that one.
We were going to have you on Hereditary, and then we found a better guest.
No, that's not true. Remember, Ty, he tried to get on the call, and then he couldn't get it working. Anyways, keep him.
Yeah, traveling.
No muy bueno. Okay, so today we are talking about a special movie gem, the history of Future Folk.
Futro Folk.
This movie...
Oh my god.
Futro Folk. Clever. We're Futro Folk. That's what we are. This movie came out in 2012, and it was directed by John Mitchell and Jeremy Kip Walker. The writer was also John Mitchell. It stars Nils Dialeri. Yeah, forget it. I'm not going to pronounce that right. Jay Clates, Julie Ann Emery, April Hernandez Castillo, who was my personal favorite, is the Carmen detective. Onata, April, and D. Snyder. And a few others.
Kevin, dude, is my favorite. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but again, his part is elevated with his counter.
Oh yeah. They were a perfect dynamic.
Both of them together, yeah. Those were the best scenes, so that's where
really
shines.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So, we're going to go... let's give a quick plot synopsis.
Yeah, I got it right here.
I have it here.
Okay, so the possibly exaggerated origin story of the real-life alien bluegrass band Future Folk has been playing for NYC audiences for the better part of a decade. I don't know if I like that one as much. Let's do... that doesn't say anything.
Any plot synopsis.
That was bad. Okay, I got this next.
Get
this next one. Okay, two aliens from the planet Hondo have come to take over our planet. But when they discover an amazing human invention called music, they immediately abandon their mission, head to the tiny Brooklyn bar, and start the universe's first Hondonian bluegrass duo, Future Folk. That's way better. Okay.
And only, I'm sure.
That's a synopsis.
Yeah, the other one was terrible. Sorry.
The other one was like, here's our two characters and nothing about what they do.
My favorite scene, dude. I don't want to. Sorry, I'm getting right into it. But I just reading that description, the part when this guy, he won't tell his wife what he's there for, and then Kevin just like blurts out everything about the mission right to the girl cop. What's her name again, Ty?
So the actress is April, but she's Carmen in the film.
Okay, Carmen. Oh my gosh, when he just tells April everything, it's hilarious.
It's great. So we're gonna go around and say two of our favorite things from this film. Jordan, why don't you start us off?
Oh, heck yes. Okay, so Kevin obviously is my favorite part of this movie. He wins the Oscar, in my opinion. I mean, I do agree with Ty, though, that his counterpart totally elevates him to a higher status. And you can argue that she is better, but I think Kevin is my favorite part of this. I love that he dances, and everything he does to swoon this girl is amazing. Obviously, some of it can be considered. We had some girls over at the house and said that it was creepy. The things he did, like stunning her and then
which it was, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, that was stunning. Look, here's the thing: were they were these girls chill? I have a bone to pick with this. were they okay with it, or were they just like, I mean, it can be creepy. The guy's a fetching extraterrestrial. Like, that's the whole point of the movie. Now, if you extrapolate that and say this is just some dude that lives in his mother's basement, then yes, there is a problem. The guy's a fetching extraterrestrial. There's no problem here. Nothing to see here. It's
That's
funny
your
because
argument?
he's doing the wrong thing. No, my argument is that it's funny because he's doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, I just want to hear these girls that you watch this film with, and they're like, well, I thought it was problematic because this guy was hitting on this girl against her will. And I'm like, yeah, no shiz. Like, the guy is a fetching alien. He's doing things that are unconventional, not appropriate. He's been on the planet for like a week.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, just love it. I get it, but that's why it was funny. So I would love to have watched this movie with them and just gone off on them. I think I lose a lot of friends that way. Just have a low tolerance for people that aren't willing to, like, oh, well, today's society, that's not what we do. It's inappropriate. Me too. It's just like, shut up.
Okay, anyways,
It's a fetching
so
movie.
Kevin's my favorite part of this movie. I love that he's like...
Wait, real quick. Did these lady friends, were they upset, or were they just saying it was creepy that he was hitting on
Do you
her?
remember Sam? I can't remember. I remember them saying a lot of things. They were
Yeah,
just
I think they just didn't like that he was the hero after he did those kind of things. Like, just
Yeah, I think the
downplayed
other
it.
thing, too, that really bothered these girls, they're like, she is so out of his league. And I was like, all right, calm down. Like, that's when I was like, okay.
Dude, take some tango lessons. You could land a chick that's like 10 levels above you, man. I'm not kidding. Take some tango lessons and dance like he can, and then learn to sing and play the guitar. Dude, I used to attend like I'll call it Bible camp, especially for the youth, for the church. And I would attend these camps, and he had the ugliest guy there. I mean, like, the ugliest guy. And he could play songs and sing, and all the women just would fly at him, like fly at his face, fly at his body. And this guy was, overweight, and they all swooned to him. Okay, and I'm not saying if you're overweight you can't be attractive. What I'm saying is all the girls sat around singing Coldplay and Jason Mraz, and I couldn't even make an inch. I couldn't talk to anyone. Like, do you play the guitar too? No. Yeah, well, I'm not interested. Yeah, no thanks. We're gonna go back to singing Kumbaya and holding circles with everyone in the holding hands with everyone in the circle here. Just, yeah, dude, I'm pretty bitter.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway. Yeah, this is like a therapeutic episode. Of the podcast.
Yeah, I
You
did
can
not
tell.
know
I'm
this would
kind
go
of
this
ornery.
direction. Sorry, I did.
No.
What?
Well, dude,
Anyways,
keep
yeah.
going.
So I mean, I love that you're defending Kevin because he is my favorite. Like, I love this man so freaking much. And I just everything in my favorite. All my favorite scenes come from him when he's sitting down in the chair and they're playing music for the first time, which is my second favorite part of this movie. Was them listening to music for the first time ever, and then his reaction to it is priceless. Like, he's just like, and he just starts screaming, and then he starts singing along to the music while he karate chop. And then he continues to karate chop him in the throat and fall to the ground, which my mom, shout out to Mom, when Mom thinks that, she says, oh yeah, they taught us in self-defense to karate chop on the throat to make people pass out, which is possible. However, it's not easy. And so it's just funny to me that Mom talks about that, because I can imagine somebody coming up, and then you start karate chopping them on the throat and they just start stabbing you. Like, I just don't think it's the best thing to do. But this man karate chops people in the neck many a times, which is really funny.
Dude, that reminds me of the Human Giant episode where he's like, when Aziz Ansari is teaching self-defense to a bunch of women, and then there's this big, fat, white guy with a neck beard in there, and he's like, then what do you do? Like, after he's like, you use his weight against him, and then you can incapacitate him. And he goes, well, then what do you do? And he's like, I'm sorry. And he goes, well, I can't attack from the front because she'll see you coming, but I can't attack from behind because of your thing. So what are you supposed to do? He's literally there taking notes on how to still attack women even though they've had self-defense training. Such a funny sketch from the Human Giants. And I just freaking love that, though. It's bullcrap. What are you supposed to do?
I love the Human Giants. Okay, and then
that's so great.
I guess that's pretty much it. Those are my two things: the Kevin, and then him hearing, both of them hearing music for the first time. Their reactions are amazing.
How about you, Sam?
Kind kind of to tell you how I found the movie in the first place was...
Yeah, sorry, we forgot to talk about that, Ty. We forgot to do... We'll go around and do that, too. So if you want to say how you came across it, and then what was it like revisiting it for the podcast?
Yeah, so the way I found it is my friends and I used to have this thing where we'd just be super bored and have nothing to do and didn't know what to watch. So we'd just type in random letters into Netflix and just see what kind of craziness would pop up from that. And yeah, that's exactly how I found it, is we were just randomly putting letters into Netflix. And then all of a sudden this movie came up. You look at the cover, and it just kind of spoke to us. My friends and I we love stuff like that.
What's it? Their helmets?
The helmets, yeah, the title. I was like, Future Folk? What is this? And then, just reading the description and everything that was on Netflix, too, was pretty similar to the thing that you read at first.
Were you with Kip?
Yeah, I was with Kip.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're like,
and you guys are both super into
bluegrass,
music.
like, futurist.
Exactly.
We'll watch that. We'll see what happens. The point being is we put this on, and the first thing that I remember about the movie was the music. And that's definitely something that I love about the movie is the music in it. We were listening to the movie, not really paying attention much, just kind of seeing how it unfolded, but Kip as well, he really likes music, so we both heard that bluegrass and just fell in love with the music. That's really what got us into the movie. So, I mean, the rest of the movie is great too. I love how crazy and random it is, and you have no idea what's gonna happen next. Someone will put like a concrete wall on an arm, like you just have no idea. But the two things that I really like about it is that the music was way better than I thought it would ever be, and then just how much fun it is. Like it knows how to not take itself seriously, and I think that really is what brings it home.
Yeah, which reminds me, because I mentioned too, I'm like, this is like a combination of bluegrass and Power Rangers. Ty, did you see? Did that scene with the big creature in that costume? Did that totally remind you of Power Rangers? That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, right. Well, that and what are the other films? They do this all the time where they have two characters going through kind of like mirror images. I'm trying to remember which movie it made me think of.
Well, it made me think of Interstellar when it was intercutting between like something super interesting and something super cheesy. like the scene in Interstellar when they're like, lighting the field on fire, which is not very suspenseful, to a scene where Matt is going to like leave him in space. That's like crazy suspenseful.
Yeah, that one, that's a good example where it doesn't work. This one worked because you had a climactic moment between Kevin and Carmen, and then also I don't know if he's the protagonist, I guess you would argue the protagonist, the main character, right? Bill. Alien Bill, or General Trius. I know when I say these names.
Oh, it does. It's so funny. It's like, it reminds me of like Galaxy Quest or something.
Right. That's actually that's an apt comparison, dude. Galaxy Quest. Yeah, I did think of those movies though. That's
Ty,
did you mention that? Especially that.
And did you catch the detail of when the guy gets shot? He grabs his right neck when he gets shot in the left side. Did you catch that?
Let's see. Who got shot?
Okay, so when Kevin's trying to snipe him because he was sent to Earth to kill the main protagonist, and when he comes and he's ready to shoot him, and then he misses, he hits the cantaloupe. First the cantaloupe explodes in his hands, and then he shoots one of the people in the street. That's never addressed again, which is really funny. He shoots an innocent bystander, and when the guy gets shot in the neck, he gets shot from the left side, but then the guy throws up his arm and holds the right side, and he's like, ah, and he falls over. Watch it, Ty. It's priceless. It's so funny. It's like, it reminds me of Sharknado. Like, that's how bad that scene is.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either until my girlfriend was the one that pointed that out, and she's like, what is going on here? And she's like, is that part of it? Is it not part of it? I'm like, I have no idea. That's what's like fun about it. Is like, is that supposed to be serious, or is that like just a complete accident? I have no idea.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, sometimes I wonder like what's an accident and what, like, maybe the editor's like, oh crap, like I guess we're just gonna roll with it, or maybe they did it on purpose where it's like, oh, this is hilarious, like we should do this.
there are a few reactions that are so quick. I mean, it's not like a 0 to 60, but it is almost like a blink and you miss it moments. Like, there are punches thrown in this that are like immediately after I don't understand what everyone's relationship to each other is almost, which, like, for example.
Yeah,
let's
hold that for the nitpicks.
Yeah.
Let's do
Okay.
your favorite things, and also what was it like watching it, and then I'll do the watching it as well.
Yeah, I would say I love the iconic look. I mean, these outfits that they're wearing are ridiculous. The idea, just a big bucket on your head. It just looks like something straight out of the 70s or maybe even 60s.
Well, I love they
Flash
address
Gordon,
it, so they're clearly self-aware, so it's fun.
Well, right, but when they get there, right, they arrive on the planet. Their mission is to destroy the place, so they're like the least menacing kind of people, and yet they have like a virus or a pathogen or whatever it is. This
flesh-eating virus, yeah.
Flesh-eating. What? I thought it would put him to sleep.
No, that's interesting because when he's telling the story, he says he's going to put him to sleep. I think he was just doing that to tell his daughter.
For his daughter,
but then when he was talking to the people before he played the music, he's like, apparently you guys aren't bothered by flesh-eating viruses.
Yeah, you find this funny, yeah.
It's another one of those things you have no idea. Like, it really leaves a lot ambiguous, I guess.
Yeah, you don't know because they sent it into space.
Right, yeah. So that's one of my favorite things is the outfits and the whole get up performing in a bar, just two men. To me, it gave me a pleasant feel because I love Flight of the Conchords, which is another comedic duo of musicians that rivals pretty much any of the top comedies and TV show. Probably the greatest 2 seasons of comedy ever put to HBO. Rivaling Silicon Valley, which is another great one, but as far as HBO goes. But yeah, Flight of the Conchords, those two guys are just so unlikely to be musicians, and yet they sing songs about everyday life that are so unbelievably relatable, and yet some of the funny, like a failed band that's not going anywhere, but sings songs that are like out of this world and now iconic, and I'm glad to see them doing things again. So
is this a podcast about Future Folk, or is this about Flight of the Conchords?
It's just things that I enjoy about it, right? It reminds me of Flight of the Conchords, which is very near and dear to me, so this movie will be placed upon a shelf in high esteem. I'm putting it that way. Just so you understand what this movie meant to me. And then the second thing was, Carmen. I think the detective was so great. I think April did a great job. She was so funny. The relationships that she has with Kevin. And again, everything from going to her place, tasering her, telling everything, spilling the beans, to
dude, her reaction to just in the bed,
lesson,
her big eyes.
Just crash her date with some other guy at a tango class, performs the greatest tango duo I've seen in a long time, and then proceeds to perform magic. I don't know if it was locking the door or melting the door with his hands. I don't even know what the magic in their hands do. But
apparently you can force heal and you can also melt doors.
Was it melting doors or lock the door? Yeah, I don't know what it was. And then she just kind of looks at him and he's just like, yeah. That whole sequence was so great. It was just so great. That was my favorite. And then cut in between the alien, and I almost think that the tango it works because you're cutting between two different climactic moments for our heroes. So it's great. Those are my go-tos.
And what was it like watching it for the first time and for the podcast?
I just watched it last night, and I actually was watching it with my wife, and she said, like, why is the lead being so weird? Like, it's a little weird because we have kids, and I'm like, we don't talk to our kids that way. I think Bill's a bad father. General Trias, when you finally learned a little bit more, it actually makes a lot more sense. But at first you're like, what is this guy? Like, what's his deal? Like, is this a guy with Asperger's? Is he on the spectrum? What's going on here? Like, that was what my wife pointed out to me, and I was like, oh, like, I didn't think of it right away, but then, like, when she mentioned it, I couldn't get it out. But then it almost was a relief when you find out that they're aliens from another planet, because you're like, oh, like, all of his mannerisms and everything are kind of quirky, and you could chalk that up to, like, he's a fish out of water, and yet he's laid the facade down to be a normal member of society. So anyway, this movie was a delight. It was kind of fun. As you watch it, you just kind of learn more and more. So great film. So That's what it was like watching the first time. It's like scratching my head at first, and then I'm like, oh, everything makes a little bit more sense. And then I was along for the ride for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we didn't bring those girls that watched it on the podcast, because I feel like it would just turn into an argument the whole time between you them, because they talked about him. They're like, she should not have forgiven him at the end, and I'm like, oh geez. Well, and I was thinking too at the very end. Oh, we'll get into nitpicking, but really quick, I want to say too. So
they should not forgive him. I can't get over that, dude. I would love to sit down with these friends of yours.
They're not friends of mine. We just invited a bunch of people from church to come and watch it, and they were just making all these comments throughout the movie. It was really funny. Sorry. Okay, I just wanted to say really quick, because I didn't get to mention first time watching it. So Sam introduced me to this. He's like, you have to see this movie. Really good. And I'm so glad he showed me, because this is what I want the podcast to be about, is hidden gems, the movies that like nobody knows or hears about and that are really good. And I feel like this is one of those. It's very highly rated on both IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, anywhere you look, because it's a very good indie film. Very fun, very enjoyable. And I mean, I can't promise.
You might like to discuss the next Marvel movie coming out with our white savior and example feminist leader Brie Larson.
Oh jeez.
Oh jeez.
And then what else was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Oh, and then re-listening it. So I rewatched it 2 more times after that, and then I was so excited. I went back and re-listened to the music right before the podcast, just because the songs are so good in this. Space Worms, love that song, definitely at the top of the list. And then the song he sings to his wife at the very end was really touching and good. And even the opening song and then when he plays again, I love this movie so much. And I love the things too he says to the audience before he plays. It's just like, and I love how the audience is laughing, because he's just like being honest with them, I'm from outer space, and he's like, I was planning to kill all of you people, and everybody's like laughing. And he's like, I know. It's like, it's not funny. Like, I don't know why you guys think that's funny. And then, and I love too when Kevin goes into the restaurant, or it's a gas station or something like that. And he's like, it's okay, everybody. He's like, I won't kill you. He's like, we can work something out. Like, I love
you have my promise.
And I just love how everywhere he goes, he brings me so much joy, because everywhere he goes, he just like wants to play music. And he's like, you got to calm down. Like, you can't just run around and just be playing music all the time. And it's like, there's certain, like, you have to act a certain way living here. And it's just so fun. I love anything about, that's why I love Third Rock from the Sun. I love anything about people trying to adjust to society, that kind of like a fish out of water, just adapting. I could watch that all the time.
No, Go ahead.
What were you gonna say, Sam? Sorry.
Just to the point, like, it seems like they had completely different experiences the first time they came to Earth. Like, the whole movie, General Trias is just ruled by fear. And it's funny because the thing he fears the most, his wife, his kids, everybody around him finding out who he really is, like, it drives him the whole movie. But here comes Kevin, who's completely the opposite, and everything he's scared of doing, Kevin just goes out and does. Like, he doesn't mind telling people, like, exactly what he is. He doesn't mind just, like, being impulsive and being who he is. But General Trias, on the other hand, like, he's just ruled by fear. He's scared what his wife might think. He's scared what people think when he's playing his music, Like, it's funny, they laugh when he says those things. I don't know if he's, like, trying to scare them or anything, but he doesn't just, like... He seems to have more trouble rolling with it than Kevin does, I think.
Yes.
Right. And even facing off the alien, he just runs away, It's not like this confrontation where he's like, I've been ready for you. He just sees the alien and just runs. I'm like, I mean, if I saw something that looked like that would be my first reaction too. But it's like, I mean, just not prepared overall for anything. Yeah, he's just always running. And that's very interesting. So I want to get into two of our least favorite things about
Well, just
this
nitpicking
film.
section, yeah.
Or nitpicks, yeah, if you guys have anything. One thing I would argue is the alien. He was super cool, the alien that came there. I would call him the reptile. I don't know what he was. He was just like this awesome beast of an alien. Had one good showdown where he chased him down and then fought with him. Intercut with the tango dancing. And then, I mean, they fight. He activates the bomb by getting his fingerprint. And the timer's been set. And then the alien just goes away. Doesn't bother to stick around, make sure it's done. I guess he wanted to get out of there. I don't know if he would be affected by it. I guess he would be affected by the bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Just have so many questions, you know. Not going to stick around, make sure that it happens.
He can do it. He can look from space. We don't know their technology. I don't see that as much of a problem as I did about the other guy. I kind of let it slide. I'm like, okay, he's not too bright. But Kevin, when he told him, I don't know why on earth he would tell Kevin, oh, I'm the only one that can activate it with my fingerprint. I'm like, why would you tell him that? Because if he after hearing that, it's like, oh, okay, and then just cut off his hand and use it, you know, or knock him out and then use his finger to set the bomb off. Like he was right there with the bomb. Like, I don't know. I just wouldn't tell somebody that's trying to blow up the entire Earth and kill everyone. Well, not blow it up because they want the Earth, so they want to kill everyone off on the Earth. But I wouldn't tell them the one way to set off that device, doomsday device. Right.
So I think that was for the audience's sake a little bit more than
interesting.
Anything.
Okay.
Just because at the end you can understand when he gets trapped with that big brick
oh.
wall. The alien can start the bomb.
Yeah, the brick wall. I can't move. I love this movie.
And then he proceeds to move his hand. It's like, what? Why didn't you move earlier? You could just get out of there. I thought Kevin would show up and help him move the thing, but no,
I know. I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like a few things where I'm like, in the end, for the sake of like I would say. It was nice because it was only like an hour and 20 minutes long. Like, this is a tight 80s movie.
Yeah,
it's really short, but sometimes I'm like, maybe if you just explored one or two more elements, you could still have added like 3 to 5 more minutes of any subplot or scene I feel like that's missing. I almost felt like there was one that was missing because I remember being at the end where it's like, we got to go in and launch this thing. I didn't even understand at the museum that they had working spaceships.
They did breeze over that a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely did.
Yeah, like, I didn't know that they had actual functioning spaceships ready to launch in museums. I don't even think that's a real thing. And again, I can suspend my disbelief where it's like, he's a janitor and yet could hack his way into actually launching this ship. I don't know. I was just, again, it's a very sweet movie. It's very endearing, but it's just like...
I feel like there would definitely have been a lot more consequences to the different things that happened. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I mean, if you overthink this, like... I just feel like the government might have been a bit more intense than the way they were, just sending a couple guards on him, like, and then him zapping
After
him.
sending
like,
a missile in, yeah.
I think, they'd have the entire military after them if they're launching freaking missiles into space.
Just launched an entire rocket out of a museum.
Like, I feel like so many more people would have been after them, and just like, and one cop says like, oh, he's not here. Like, she would have been fired from her job. Not just that, been arrested. Like, there would have been so many more consequences. But it's like, oh, okay. Like, and then at the very end, like them not being in jail for all the stuff they did and like put into labs and.
Well, if they break out of jail, they're just gonna, or if they put them in jail, they're gonna break
just
out.
Break out. Yeah, that's true. Oh.
Yeah, you can't jail him, so I guess you just let him keep breaking
because
the law.
He's going to use his hand again and like when
What? Okay, that's okay. I'm glad you brought that up because what the heck was that? The guy, did he actually kill the guy? Is that what I understood? He killed the guy and then he was resuscitating him, but it was like the weirdest thing. It just kept going on and on, and he's like kept his hand there, and he's like, "What are you doing to him?" And like he just kept sitting there, and the guy was like convulsing. I was like, was he torturing him? Was he imprinting on him? Was he healing him? Did he die and he was resurrecting him, or was he just healing him from his hurt boo-boos? I don't know. Did he actually kill the guy by punching him? What happened? Did I miss that?
I mean, I think that is definitely a fault of it. Is that it has no rules that we can really understand or like put into a place where anything makes sense. Like you said, they just bring up new powers all over the place, and we have no idea what they really do. Yeah, like it doesn't explain very much about the aliens at all. Whether it be
Right.
the lizard guy or the Hondurians, like it really doesn't explain anything about the aliens of any other race. But I mean, it's still fun, but it would be a little bit more grounded, I think, if it had at least a couple rules to maybe tie everything together.
Yeah, I think because it's comedies usually can get away with a lot,
That's
and
true.
I think that's kind of what they were leaning into. It's like, oh shoot, how are we going to explain this? And it's like, all right, well, we can just lean into kind of how ridiculous it is. Like,
Yeah. Also, like character motivations. Like, I didn't understand why. So he sees. So he's nonplussed when he sees the guy in his home because he's like, I figured someone would finally come for me, right? But so he's like, you're the world's worst assassin, which was really funny. And they're like, I like when he actually clarified that. He goes, the only reason they sent you here was to see that I had failed, right? Is that what he said? I can't remember. He's like, the fact that you're here, Kevin, like, he goes, but they sent me here to like do the mission that if you failed to do it, but I wouldn't have been able to complete the mission because I don't have
but
a
he
finger.
could have, because he could have just taken his hand and put it on the
Yeah,
bomb.
if he found his corpse, but that was the point, right? The fact that he even found him, I don't know, but I got what he was saying. I get that, where it's like, you had no other failsafe, you didn't bring an extra bomb with you. I mean, it's just like,
Well, I think what was supposed to
What was the-
happen was Kevin was supposed to be a distraction for the other assassin. Because it seems like Kevin, he was supposed to beat really easily and then get lured into feeling safe and secure, and then the other alien came in. I don't know if it was made clear or if it. I think it hinted at that, but it's honestly a little confusing as well.
I love it. Okay, well, was your question answered, Ty? Because I have one nitpick.
I mean, I don't know if I'll ever get an answer to this, but
I liked your answer, Sam.
ask
Anyways,
away, yeah.
but
It
I
was
do
good.
have
It was good.
I have something though that so at the very end, I'm just curious as to your guys' thoughts. Do you think it would have been enough for her? Because the girls we watched it with clearly didn't think so. But I'm curious as to your thoughts when he's like, "Look up in the stars and you'll see it," which. It's funny, it happened, and he's like 3, 2, 1, and it happened really quick. I'm like, well, how did he plan for her to be at the top of the roof at that second, that quick? I was like, holy crap, like, good timing. Because what if she wasn't there at that time, and, you know, she
I
never...
also didn't understand where he was like, it's 3 weeks early. Like, I didn't understand that. He was like, this is 3 weeks before I was planning on launching this thing. It's 3 weeks too soon. And he's like, we have to do it. I didn't understand that.
Yeah, it was hard because I don't know what he played before he went to Earth. Like, obviously he was a general, but I mean, some things make it sound like he's like an astrophysicist, and that's why he's working at the missile place, and that's why he knows so much about missiles, or something. Like, I don't know.
Well, let's be honest here. Unless, like, I will give it credit to maybe that time is passing differently in a different galaxy, right? So I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. He's been living on this planet for 11 years.
Because of his
Settled down with
daughter.
a woman
Yeah.
and has a daughter. No, he says explicitly he's been there for 11 years. How slow-af moving is this comet? Could they just not build up enough ships and get everyone off of Hondo away? Like, they're just gonna like wait around 11 years and finally send out the next person they figured he failed his mission? Why not, like, I don't know, after a day or two? If I don't know how long they had to travel. I have no idea. You know, anyway,
It might be like Interstellar, Ty, where it's like on Earth, 11 years passes. It's only a couple minutes for them.
a couple of minutes, right? But see, that's giving them the benefit of the doubt. I don't think they could put as much thought into it as we are currently putting it, and maybe that's not the important part of the movie. But I think about these things, and that's what I'm saying. Another 3 minutes of this film explaining that, it would have helped, because I'm like, are they really Earth's last hope? I actually thought Hondo was like pulling the whole planet was pulling a prank on Bill. I literally thought that. I thought they were like, yeah, you're General Trias. You're gonna be amazing. You're gonna go save the planet. I'm like, he was probably the kid picked on at school, and they sent him on this mission that was completely nonsensical, and it wasn't even going to be.
It's
I
like a
actually thought it was
reality
gonna be a
TV
hoax.
show, The Truman Show or something.
Yeah. Well, I thought they were going to prank him. I thought at the end the crystals weren't going to put everyone to sleep. I actually thought that. That was like where my brain went to, because I was like, I hear about
Maybe
how
he
good
launched
is,
it
and then,
into space for no reason. Nothing happened.
well, as soon as they said, why did they send me out here? And he goes, I was going to be doomed to fail. And I was like, yeah, so all of you are just pawns. Like, they were just sending off sacrifice or something. I thought there was going to be something to Hondo. I thought Hondo was going to be this planet where it's like, the lizard. I actually thought the lizard was going to have the key to all this and be like, hey, Hondo, your guys' planet does this to you. You don't even realize. Like, I thought there would be some truth from the lizard, but instead it was like, no, I'm gonna come in here for 5 seconds, start the plot in motion. I think it would have been more interesting. Again, I'm not telling you how to rewrite this movie. What I'm saying is the lizard could have had a scuffle with him just the same, but then at the very end when he like gets the upper hand, he could have been like, yeah, but you don't realize you Hondonians or whatever they call them. It's like, you guys are all brainwashed into doing this, this, and that. And it would have been like, what are you talking about? And he goes, yeah, you were programmed to come here on this secret mission. And then he could have been like, it's not even real or whatever, right? Or said something, and then he could have activated the bomb on his own accord, tricking him somehow. I don't know. Again, it's just like, because I think it would have been better if there was some kind of double cross, because it's like, are we to understand that Bill betrayed General Trias, this white hope, like this knight in shining armor, the one that's going to come back and save his whole planet, was completely dissuaded from his whole life. Maybe his life sucked before coming there, but he just abandoned his family because he heard music in a Costco. Like, he heard some overhead speakers playing music, and he's like,
and what was the song too that he heard? It was like, I don't even think it was.
Oh yeah,
like,
it was like
that big
easy
It was
listening.
like elevator music.
Yeah.
Like elevator music, like just like what you do when you hear you're shopping, Gosh.
But the music though that he played for him, did you recognize any of those songs, Sam? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah,
I like part of like that Beethoven song.
Yeah.
There was what? I thought it was Mozart. Was it Beethoven?
Or I don't know. I think it's Beethoven.
No, yeah, he did like it was a lot of video games actually. There was like the Final Fantasy theme.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah.
And then another one was Mario.
The Mario theme was in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mario.
yeah.
And then what was the one that was like
Furlies was
dun
in
dun
there.
dun dun dun, and he started like singing with it. Like, do you remember what that one was?
I don't know what that one was.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm curious about that as well because I did not recognize that.
Because he started like ah.
See, it sounds like it might be a video game thing where there's like the
Oh,
background
interesting.
music
Yeah.
for like a boss fight or something. That's what it might be.
Oh, interesting. Maybe like Bomberman or something, or like Link or something. I don't know, Zelda, but but
So in the end, I don't want to like go down this road and tear it apart, because in the end, it's a very endearing movie. And even though you can go into a tango class and you have to pay $30, you can just judo chop and knock out the lady taking admissions or whatever.
that was the best.
That was the best.
Just oh
Wait,
did I
$35?
put my name? Yeah, he's like, did I $35? What does he say? 35 human dollars? Or what does he say?
Yeah. It was, 35.
I can't remember what the line was. Just like,
Oh yeah, 30. Yeah, because he just says things so weird. Oh, 35 human dollars. Like, yes. Wait, what was that on the list again?
just knocking her out. Yeah, like again. Sometimes I didn't know if the punches were merited. Like I didn't also understand. Like Kevin knocks out the general, right? Like he punches him in the face after he starts singing like opera, like his vibrato or whatever. And
Yeah,
he's, like,
that
singing,
scene
and
was
then-
so funny. He's like, you can
and
do
then he punches
whatever.
him.
He's like, you can torture me. You can do whatever you want. Okay, I'll talk.
Yeah. As soon as he grabs the guitar, what is that? What is that? So he punches him, and then he like faints, and then he wakes up later, and he's in a bathrobe, and he just comes out, and they're just like start talking like nothing happened. I guess the music spoke to him. He knew that he wouldn't. But in the end, he like there's another scene where he's like, well, let's bring everyone from Hondo here, and he's like, well, what if they don't react the same? Like the music affected me and you. Like, okay, so you have two creatures from this planet that have never heard music, and they were both affected the same way. Why would you have any reason to believe it wouldn't affect everybody else? Like, no one else has ever heard of music before.
I mean, I don't know. I can kind of get that. Like,
I can get the part where he's like, well, we can't just move an entire planet species into another planet species. You ever seen District 9?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That reminded me of District 9 when he said that.
Then this movie gets really sad, Future Folk. And then it just turns into a bunch of clicking.
They put him in concentration camps and crap. Oh, jeez.
District 10, man. They better make a District 10 someday. Freak. Yeah, this movie was great. I don't know if you can tell. I think this movie's just great. I really do. But, maybe again, one other thing. I think there could have been one more musical number. Saying that now, I know that sounds silly.
Oh, I totally agree. I was like, I wanted more music. After watching it a second time, I'm like, oh, man, like, I want more of this music, please.
Yeah, the music was really, really fun. Very quirky.
I thought there was a good balance between the story and the music, but I still wanted more music. That music's so good.
My favorite thing that they did was making the music integral to the plot, because again, you try to sell this movie unless it actually merits like performing and doing the whole show and everything. I think one thing I think was missing from this, like the stereotypical, there was a slight falling out between Kevin and Bill. But it was very minute. It was just like, oh, you failed your post, and now I'm drinking. And I guess that was good, but, like, I almost wanted it to come in the way of the music and the band a little bit more, which sounds silly because it's like you can't extend this movie by another half hour. Maybe you could, but it's like one of them is, like, pursuing the stardom, right? Because, like, they start getting fans, and maybe I liked how they came in at the end. That was a great callback, but... building up the fan base or something. I don't know. So maybe I want it to be too much like Bohemian Rhapsody, which is not a good movie by any means.
Well, I enjoyed
imagination, it. But dental incisors. That's why I can sing. No, it's not. Okay. Anyway.
Do we do quotes yet? Are we doing quotes right now, or am I too far ahead?
Let's hit up quotes. We got to hit up quotes and get this show on the road.
Okay. I got a couple quotes I wrote down. Earth is a complicated place, and so are its women.
I have a feeling that was probably the only quote you remembered, and you said that to your two lady friends that were visiting. Whatever. You're like, women are a complicated thing. Oh my gosh! And they're like, I have issues with this.
No. It's it just reminds me of the same quote from like The Room, like.
Oh.
Women confuse me, man. That manipulative bee.
Okay. Oh yeah. So right after Kevin kisses her, and then she she first sprays him with the pepper spray, and he like licks it, and then she whacks him on the knee with her what is that called? Her police stick,
like a metal baton.
Yeah. And then he hits the floor, and then she goes, "You want to do some kissing, big boy? I got a place for you." Those are my two favorite.
That's great. I loved when he sneaks into like outside her window. He's on her fire escape and then just shoots her with a laser, and then she's like stunned or whatever, and he goes, "I'm sorry, it was the only way I thought I could get to see you." And then he just lays out everything and goes, you're just stunned, you're gonna be fine. In like 10 minutes I'm just gonna perform this song for you, okay? And then after he performs it, kisses her on the head and leaves. That's a really sweet moment.
Well, I love the song tied the words to it too, like singing to her in Spanish. Oh my gosh. Dude, that made me so happy. Oh my goodness.
Right. And again, are we to believe that Hondo, they all speak English or Spanish? Like, where does he learn all this? Anyway.
Well, that's one of my favorite quotes. Is he says he learned Spanish in like 3 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and it was because they'd have like no language barrier, like they're superior at learning things. I never understood that. Not explained.
I'm assuming if they can travel through space and stuff, I'm assuming that we have to just kind of assume that they're just kind of far superior to us,
So they can travel through space, and they're going to send one guy on a mission to lay a biobomb, completely wipe out the human race, and then fly everybody over here and inhabit this planet. But wait 11 years to do it for the stupid comet coming out of the sky. Oh my gosh. Hondo, don't know if I want to live there. They weren't bright enough to invent music. And yeah, I can see why General Trias left it and never bothered. Okay, one last nitpick.
Oh jeez.
You don't have a social security number? How in the heck are you going to get a job as maybe as a janitor, but like You don't get paid if you don't have a social security number, man.
No, I
Don't
thought
get a job.
Well, I thought that was they actually have like you can even vote if you don't have a social. I heard, isn't that? Yeah, Ty.
What are you talking about?
No, you can vote if you don't have a social security card. There's the laws that were passed.
You need a driver's
with
license.
Obama.
The guy, did he have a driver's license?
You don't
That
need to have a
wouldn't even make
driver's
clear to me.
license.
No, some people like. I thought a lot of things changed when Obama was in president or something. I don't know. I don't know. I'm really asking.
We are politically savvy on this show.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm not.
The laws of the land. Don't you need a form of ID?
Depends on the job. To be a janitor, I do not think you need any form of ID. I don't think so.
Yeah, they just let some homeless guy come up and sweep your floors.
Well, maybe working at certain places, like, yeah, probably working at, like, as a janitor in NASA, you would probably need some social security card or something, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
The background this guy, the cops, after 5 seconds, find out the guy doesn't have any ID, social security number, fingerprints, like, I don't think your husband is who you think he is. And again, she had like the wife was like, I don't ask him about his parents. He doesn't like talking about it. They both died. I had a tough childhood. He doesn't like talking about it. It's like,
oh, what I was going to ask, Ty, was do you think she would forgive him? I mean, do you think the little spaceship blowing up, or like she saw a little spark
fart,
in this? Yeah, what
fart in this guy?
Yeah, what do you think it would have been like enough, or do you think, I mean, maybe he knows more about, is it called astrology, to just be like, or geology? I forget the word. What is it called with space?
Astrology.
Astrology, to be like,
Astronomy.
oh, there's something going to happen tonight, and he could have just, tricked her into believing it. I don't know. I just wonder if that would be enough to convince her that, he is.
Well, based on her reaction, I don't know if it's the actress or just what happened in that scene, I could tell that she believed him.
Did you recognize her, Ty? She's in Fargo, the TV show, the pregnant wife.
Oh, see, I thought I recognized her. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Fargo.
Okay, was there any other quotes?
Oh, dang it. I can't remember it.
I will mention Hondo just because I swear that every time they say Hondo, it's like at the perfect moment. Like they don't say it like a ton, but like before every song, when his like daughter says it as a greeting the first time she meets Kevin, like I think they really nail. I know it's like said all over the place, but every time they say Hondo, it's just like it fit right where it should be. So.
Yes, I mean, well, because they build it up to say it like when he's telling his daughter the story, and then when she sees him in the costume, like tied up, and she first sees him screaming, and then she says Hondo, and he says Hondo back, and then when the police leave, when she's leaving the house, she says Hondo, and he says it back to her. Like there's those moments for some reason are very almost tender. It's really good.
Very true.
I also like, I don't know if it's like a quotable scene, but just like, he comes back home, finds his wife, and it's like, the guy's like talking to the police, and he's like, yeah, he's a drunk friend of mine, and then he goes, can I have a private word with my wife? And he goes, I need you to lie to the cops for me. And she's like, what? He's like, yeah, I need you to lie to the policeman for me. And then she just like proceeds to pack her, and she's like, no, you can tell me right now. He goes, I'll explain everything later. And he like doesn't proceed to tell her, right? And Sam, you brought this up. You were nailed it right on the head. He's too afraid to tell her. She just packs her bags and leaves. Like, the one sane person in this whole movie.
Oh,
Your husband just like, I need you to lie about someone that was tied up in our home. Like, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to take the kid. I'm going to go spend some time with my parents for a bit.
Do you think that would be enough to get the cops to leave? That's hilarious. It's like, oh, he was just, he was just drunk and I didn't want him.
Yeah. The cops were very weird back and forth. Like he chase after them. Sometimes they would like letting him go all the time. Like they were all over the place. I feel like with the police.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You literally just got someone. You had the. I'm assuming she called the police saying there's a man tied up in my home. And the first thought, as soon as the husband gets home, he goes, "Yeah, I tied him up because he gets drunk and he gets out of hand sometimes." And it's like. The guy doesn't have his ID on him. Are they gonna just assume this is normal? Like, what did the guy say? What did he say to the FBI? He's like, he told them like he was from another planet and everything, right? It's like,
yeah, because the guy even said he's like he seems cool enough or normal, and it's like what? What about this person seems normal?
Greatest detective right there, dude. He's gonna make head detective someday, dude.
I forgot about that one.
Gosh.
That was a good thing.
It's
I'm glad you
fun
wrapped
to
that up.
see. When you think of the quotes, man, it's just like I don't mean to make them nitpicks. I just
No.
think it's so funny.
It's fun. Honestly, those are the things that make it fun too. They don't take itself seriously. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right, so best actor, worst actor. I
would say worst, just over the top.
Over the top. So Kevin wins the Academy Award. Are we all in agreement?
Okay. Well, I thought you were gonna fight for what's her name, but I'm okay with Kevin.
Carmen.
Yeah.
She was good. I think she was an integral part of it, but Kevin definitely was doing the let's call it the acting chops and stuff, right?
Yes.
He was pulling out he had to be endearing enough. He reminded me of like a Josh Gad. You know?
Dude, he reminded me of Jack Black a little bit, especially his music when he does that like when he's like singing, like he does those like because Jack Black does those weird noises like rig-a-goo-goo, like I don't know, he just throws stuff into his music. If you listen to Tenacious D.
Worst actor.
Well, not worst, just
Bill
over the
Hunt's
top.
Over the top, because I was gonna say the worst actor was General Trias.
I think so.
I think the lead was super wooden sometimes.
Yeah, he could have, been a bit more.
Especially being like the main character.
I kept thinking he's like kind of like Mark Wahlberg, but not as blue collar, just like more sociopathic. Because every time I see Mark Wahlberg, I'm an inventor. I invent things. It's like what I do. I'm an inventor. Like it just makes me laugh every time. And, but this one's like sociopathic Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin saved this movie. If Kevin wasn't in this would have. I mean, I don't think this film would have worked.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Or it just wouldn't have been nearly as interesting. So.
Yeah, I mean.
Or fun.
General Trias really had to step it up because he's right next to Kevin the whole movie. I mean, if it was like a different character in the movie, I don't think it would have mattered so much. But him just being opposite to Kevin, they're close the whole movie. Like the whole movie, they're just around each other. It hurts him because you have Kevin who's so energetic and animated, and then you have General Trias. And I mean, it's one thing to be stoic, but it just doesn't look like he develops his character at all. And even in his head, like he just kind of follows the same rules the whole time.
Yeah, good point.
For sure.
And I feel like because they were constantly juxtaposing, showing like scene, they were constantly cutting back and forth between like that whole scene where he was fighting and being all the serious, and then cutting back to the dance. It was like you totally saw. It was like black and white. It's like this really funny to serious moment. So it's just, I think that did help a lot. I don't know. It's just, I can't remember what I was getting at.
Very, very good. Well, would you recommend this movie?
100%.
Yes. I do all the time anyway.
I would recommend this movie. I would recommend this movie to all the feminists out there.
Oh, jeez.
You can really enjoy something about this film, and then you can write me your complaints and your comments. I would recommend this movie.
I think it, you know what? It's family friendly. I think the reason we watched it with that audience from church is just because of all the other crazy films that Sam owns, like Holy Mountain, that I would never watch with anybody else, because like Sam's even told me that this one friend of his watched it with his girlfriend and they broke up like the next day.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that probably won't get on this podcast.
I'm not saying it was the movie, but
but it's seriously though, this is, I feel like, that perfect movie to recommend if you want to watch something that you've never seen or ever will see again. This is up there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And if you like music, I mean, this is a great one. If you love music, especially folk music. So good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is great because they're like a real band too. They did do shows in New York. By the time I found the movie, I think they'd stopped. But like it was a real duo that they were going around New York playing in these little bars.
Oh, fun.
Beforehand, which is strange because
all wearing red buckets.
Yeah, I'm like, how did they get a movie made about them? But I'd never heard of them before. Like the Flight of the Conchord, excuse me. I mean, they're a big comedy duo that they seem to have enough following to make a movie. But Future Folk, I mean, nobody's ever heard of Future Folk.
Well, I mean, it's a bit tighter in a smaller budgeted film, so they may have were able to make it themselves, and then hopefully trying to get more people to find them.
Yeah, I feel like this could get picked up on Netflix. Netflix is just a garbage disposal of strange ideas and crushed dreams, dude. All right. Well, everybody, real quick, we always end each movie podcast by saying things that we like, or things that we've seen lately, and things that we're looking forward to seeing. So, Sam, have you seen any good movies lately?
I want to hear your thoughts, too. You can mention really quick if you have any on Hereditary, if you want to mention.
Oh, no, that's fine. I mean, it's a good movie. It's terrifying, but yeah.
Okay, I was just curious.
Got that right.
The one that I've been rewatching, actually, I actually just bought the DVD, is the brilliant Danger 5 TV show. It's an Australian TV show. It is the most wacky thing in the world. They've got Nazi dinosaurs fighting cavemen with secret agent teams. And
wait, is there a trailer? Yeah, where they like go to the center of the earth and it's Hitler riding on the back of a T-Rex. Is that the movie?
Maybe. There's so much wild stuff. It's a TV show, and so it's so much wild stuff.
I saw a trailer that it never left me, but I never figured out what movie that was too. So I didn't know if that was the one. It sounded like it. So.
They have some episodes on YouTube because we watched some of them, didn't we, Sam?
Yeah, they have it on something free now. I think it's like on Tubi or something like that. But it's great. The first season, it's like 1960s spy themed satire, and then the second season is 80s movies, and it's brilliant. I love it to death. Definitely worth a watch. Never disappointed.
Did you introduce me to some of the craziest things I have ever seen in my entire life? I love it. I did not know there were such movies out there. Like I don't think I ever would have come across Holy Mountain if you hadn't introduced me to that.
Yeah, that's I don't know why you'd want to, for the most part. But
I'm so happy you have. Anything you're looking forward to?
One that I haven't watched and I keep telling myself I need to watch is Velocipaster. I saw that on Amazon, and I know it's been out for a little bit, but I have still not had the chance of watching that, and that's something I need to fix. Definitely want to watch that movie.
Nice.
I need to watch that too.
All right. Well, I recently watched Truth Seekers. Or is it Truth? Yeah, Truth Seekers. It's starring Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. They team up again, man. It's our Cornetto trilogy bros. I don't think Edgar Wright was involved in this at all, but it was a really fun show. It's like 8 episodes. It's a lot of fun. It was perfect for Halloween. It was like a horror comedy, which I absolutely love. Jordan, did you get a chance to see this one yet?
No. You got to text me because I can't remember. What?
Well, I'm just thinking of you editing the podcast for like 3 hours, and you're like, what was that show that Ty was recommending? You're like, you literally have the audio for it.
Well, I mean, I got to go through hours of stuff. It takes me...
Hey, just relax, all right? And also stars Malcolm McDowell and Samson Kayo. And this is such a fun show. I loved it. It's so good. Definitely give it a watch if you guys like, horror comedies. But again, it's like, it's very much its own kind of thing. I mean, there's a few things that it reminds me of, but it's a really, really fun, genuinely laugh out loud and genuinely scary moments. So it's really well done. Definitely give it a shot. And then I watched. Let's see. I'll have to go to my phone here. See what else is on my list.
Oh,
I'm
excited. Make fun of me for looking at my list.
No, dude, my brain is so. I watched like 8 hours of different videos about the election turnout, but that was a big waste of time. Should just gone to bed.
Really quick. So we just hit an hour, Sam. So if you've got to get going, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, you can stick around.
Yeah, I better. My girlfriend's gonna want to talk to me. So.
Yeah. Okay, so hit.
Wait, he has to hear my. I'm gonna go see a movie on Amazon Prime called Get Duked.
Okay.
I'm really excited. Or Get Nuked. I think it's Nuked.
Sounds good.
So
thanks for having me on, dude. both
Dude,
of you.
yeah, we
Sam, it was
loved
great
having you
you
on.
You're a great guest.
Yeah,
Thanks
yeah.
for coming on. Do you have any social media presence you want people to be aware of, where people can start following you?
Ooh,
or-
I mean, a little bit self-promotion right here, but I do make shoes. You can check them out on the website phil1101.com. If you want to check it out, just a couple sneakers that I made. But other than that, I try to keep off social media. most
Yeah,
of the
they're
time.
awesome. I bought a pair of shoes, amazing, and I'm gonna make a video for it. We've already done a couple videos on if you follow us at any of our social media. We made a few for his shoes. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, Sam, thanks for coming on, and take it easy. Stay safe out there.
You guys too. Thanks for having me.
Say hi to
Thanks,
your
Sam.
feminist friends for me. Take care.
Jeez,
All right. Folks, thanks for tuning in to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. Write your emails
Wait a minute, wait.
Futro Movie Gems at what?
Futuro Movie Gems. It's futuromovies@gmail.com.
futuromovies@gmail.com. What were you saying? Did I cut you off?
You didn't get
to
to let me do my list. And before I hit up my list really quick, I just wanted to say a few comments about a few things I just learned about the boys that I think are really cool. So I forgot to mention a couple things too on the podcast. I just wanted to mention Starlight when her eyes glow when they're getting intimate. Totally reminds me of Stardust when she glows when they're getting intimate. So just a fun comparison. The other thing I forgot to mention is just how much I love the scene where Kamiko crawls down through the vents right before she breaks A-Train's legs. I didn't actually catch it, but my roommate who was on his phone, he caught it. And I was paying attention 100%, and I still didn't see it. So that was really frustrating. And because if you look in the background, she's crawling down, Anyways, and then I forgot to mention, too, that Elizabeth Shue from Adventures of Babysitting and Back to the Future 2 was totally my crush growing up, and also Jamie Lee Curtis. Maeve showing up at the end, like that really cool moment where you think she's not going to help them, and then she shows up to fight. Totally reminds me of Copland when the guy from it's a movie about Sylvester Stallone. There's like a lot of bad cops. Anyways, the guy from Goodfellas, his name is Figs in this movie. He shows up at the very end to save the day, and there's like the bagpipes start playing. Just totally reminded me of that. I just love when, you think there's no good cops in the city, and Sylvester Stallone is alone. He's just about to die because they're shooting him. He shows up and, helps him. I love stuff like that. When you think, you're thinking, oh no, it's over. They're not going to win. And then boom, somebody comes in. And it's kind of like an unlikely hero that's kind of like, I'm not going to help you guys. I feel like there's a lot of moments like that in movies. Okay, so some fun facts that I just learned today at work. A guy that reads the comic books from, I just want to tell you a few things they changed from The Boys, which is really cool, Ty. So Homelander, so Starlight is actually a man in the comic book. So Homelander is actually gay in the comic book. Is that weird? I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
Wait, slow down.
Slow down. Wait a minute.
I'm confused. Homelander is a homosexual and Starlight is a man?
Yeah. Starlight.
Wait, does Starlight?
Oh,
and
not
Homelander
Starlight.
have a
Sorry.
thing?
What's her name? What's the girl?
Huey?
Stormfront.
Okay, Stormfront.
Stormfront is a man.
Oh, Stormfront is a man.
Because remember,
and
Homelander and her hook
Homelander's
up,
gay.
right?
Got it. Was that Homelander's gay?
Yeah, and which also goes into the next part, which Homelander actually abuses the Deep, which explains why he abuses other people, because Homelander is gay, so...
Wait. Say that again. I'm not getting it. You just keep going. Okay.
Okay, so fun fact.
The Deep. Homelander abuses Deep.
Yeah.
Because but that's never touched on in the show.
No, but I'm saying that's just that's to give you some backstory. In the comic book, it's a lot more dark. Like the Homelander is even worse in the comic book. I'm saying he's and
because he's a gay.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying he's worse because he's gay. I'm saying he's worse because he abuses people.
You remind me of that news anchor that's like, He's the only man to have climbed Mount Everest, but he's gay. Oh, he's gay. Excuse me. He's blind.
I know. I sounded so bad. It's worse because he's gay. No, I sound like that girl from. Did you watch The Staircase, Ty? When the lady's like, she's describing to this podunk town that's very conservative. She's trying to get them to turn against him, and she's like, yeah, he was cheating on his wife with other men because he's gay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it probably means that he's likely to kill people, right? He's
exactly.
To kill someone.
Like, it's so funny.
He could hide something like being a closeted gay. What else could he be hiding? The fact that he killed his wife?
Yeah, because those
that's
two
crazy.
in the same. Like, he's evil. Just so funny. I don't know.
That was a crazy documentary. If you haven't watched The Staircase, folks.
Yeah, holy crap. Like, it's up there with Making a Murderer. Holy crap.
And yeah, I have so many problems with Making a Murderer.
Yeah, well, by season 2.
Cops' corruption. Yeah, well, yeah. But again, make the story about cops' corruption. You don't need to convince me that Stephen Avery is innocent, because he's not. I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not.
Tight. It's so many movies now. When I hear the phrase, I don't want to talk about it, like in Cobra Kai, I keep thinking of The Room. I'm like, oh, jeez.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, why not? That's right. It's confidential. What?
I know. And he's like,
what's your sex life?
Everything.
Dude.
Why do you want to know about my secrets? Okay. This isn't about. Okay, and then a few shows that I watched really quick, so we can wrap this up. Sorry, I've got to also check my list.
Yeah, I think it's called Get Duped. It looks like a Hunt for the Wilder People meets like Moonrise Kingdom meets Jojo Rabbit meets The Good Dinosaur. Just like all those weird movies. But it's like a New Zealand comedy. It looks really, really funny. Get Duped.
So I just finished. They just finished Primal, and because I bought the rest of the season, and they finally finished season 1. And holy crap, is it amazing! Gennady Tartakovsky, or however you say his name, he is such a good artist. I mean, his work is unbelievably good. I tried to get Ty on it, but maybe I'll have to do it in the pod or something. And then, and then I rewatched Memories of Murder with my roommate. Oh my gosh, what an amazing masterpiece! And then I watched a movie called Quick Change, which is with Bill Murray. It's really fun comedy, just kind of like a series of not unfortunate events, but series of events that occur that are unfortunate. No, that are just like it's just like one bad thing after another kind of keeps them from escaping because they just robbed a bank. So it's really funny.
Oh, okay.
And
check that one out.
Yeah, and I watched Idle Hands, which is dumb. I watched there was one other thing.
Watch Truth Seekers. Write it down.
Oh, I mean, obviously I watched the new episode of Mandalorian, and holy nuggets, it's so good.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wait until all the episodes are available and it's no longer in the cultural zeitgeist, and then I'll binge watch all few episodes that there are under a free Disney account, and then I can not pay Disney any money but still get the gratification of watching their amazing content.
And then the first episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm is amazing. I rewatched. So on Halloween Day, I've watched Event Horizon twice because it's amazing. And then I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, which it has a couple moments that are good. Didn't love it. The first one's way better.
Are the moments where someone's getting sawed in half? Because now I'm starting to question our friendship.
I know. Do you remember, Ty, on your birthday, I left in your locker a picture of Resident Evil 4, him getting chainsawed?
Getting chainsawed by Baghead, yes.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And then I also left a Chucky doll in your locker.
An animatronic Chucky doll that literally started talking and playing music. That was so scary.
And that's all I've watched. And then
didn't get me to swear though. Nearly did. I caught myself.
And then what I'm looking forward to is the new Halloween movie. Even though I didn't love the last one, but anything Danny McBride does, I'm on board. Like I've binge watched all the TV shows he's made.
Wait, Danny McBride did a Halloween movie?
He produced it and helped write it.
It's so weird. Didn't know that guy was into horror movies.
Dude, both him and Seth Rogen, Seth Rogen are like making stuff now. It's awesome. I love these like actors that are starting to like direct and make things. It's fun.
Yeah, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. But,
well, I mean, Jonah Hill, he directed 80s or 60s or something, 70s. I can't remember what the movie's called. The 90s, mid 90s was really good.
Yeah, I wanted to watch that one. I started it, but I guess I didn't get to any conflict.
It's pretty slow. It's not till the ending that it's like, oh wow, that was totally worth sitting through. So
after 90 minutes, you're like, oh, I get why I watched it now.
It's fun if you're nostalgia for that kind of era. It just reminds me of when I was a kid. So
you know you're in a good TV show when people are like, you just have to watch the first 2 seasons. And really picks up. You know what? You can go to okay? I don't need to watch 2 seasons.
Then it gets good. I mean, it's not the first episode.
After you've sunk too much money and time and sweat into this, you can't back down. You have to finish the show. So definitely keep up with it.
It's the point of no return. Yep.
Yeah. After you're like, well, there's only 4 seasons on this streaming service that are free, so I guess I'll just watch all 4 seasons then.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. You want to watch Breaking Bad? Get someone to watch the pilot episode with you, and then find out that your roommates, you literally start a new coalition where every night you all watch like 4 or 5 episodes of Breaking Bad each night.
Yeah.
I showed the pilot to my 5 roommates, and 4 of which watched all 5 seasons of Breaking Bad in one semester.
I don't know. I didn't get hooked the first episode. It actually took 2 for me. So.
With Breaking Bad, what are you, crazy?
Apparently.
Just the
Walter I thought the same thing about you not getting into Game of Thrones, freaking nerd.
I watched 1 episode and I was like, for some reason, I kind of knew everything that was going to
Oh,
happen.
boo. Weird. You're missing out. You are missing out. Ty, talk about defying. You want something to defy, what's the word? Defy your expectations? Or is that the word? Defy?
Defying expectations?
No, not define, like defy. Like, what is it? It's called like not exceed? No. It's like it's like you said you wanted.
Subvert my expectations?
Subvert. Thank you. Subvert your expectations. So you want to watch something that'll subvert your expectations, watch Game of Thrones. Because a character you think is so disgusting and so horrible for killing a little kid, you actually learn to like. I'm telling you, it's subverting expectations. Because you said, oh, wouldn't it be better for somebody to, like the Deep to be subverted your expectations if you actually ended up liking him? Well, that's why I think them not telling you that the Deep was abused is actually going to be a better decision, because if they tell you that,
revealed later on, yeah.
Well, but if they tell you that, then it's like, oh, I have to feel bad for him. But not telling you that, I feel like gives you a chance to, maybe redeem the character through a different way, a different medium. Because what he did is unforgivable. Well, that would be showing us, is it unforgivable? And then I think.
Yeah, dude, when it comes to movies, I'm pretty much like, I'm just giving out forgiveness, I'm dishing it out like hot and ready. I'm like, who are you? Kylo Ren? You blew up a few planets.
Killed millions of innocent people.
Millions more. Just say you're sorry. Maybe serve a prison sentence and then get out in 10 years, 10 to 15 year life. I don't know.
No, I think people forgive
system?
him
no
because...
one seems to have any prisons except ones that host or house rebels.
Well, I think people forgive him because you don't show those people being blown up, because it's very senseless if you just show a world being blown up compared to like showing, like following a character and then suddenly showing that family being eviscerated and then showing the other character. But because you only see a planet blow up and then you want him to fall in love with Rey, you're kind of like, oh, I can look past it.
Speaking of that, I wanted to bring up one scene from The Boys season 2 that really bothered me. The whole, like, white dude that gets up, he edits, like, what does he edit for the film? Or he has, like, pictures of Stormfront on his wall, and then he, like, goes into the convenience store and he's ready to kill the convenience store clerk because he thinks he saw a shine in his eye. I don't buy that.
Yeah, I didn't buy that either. I know.
Like, no, and listen, that guy does not live with, like... maybe he does live with his mom or whatever, but his room wouldn't be clean. that guy's teeth would be falling out. Like, I mean, again, if we want to talk about like stereotypical kind of like, it's like that clean cut guy. Like, I mean, like he's walking down the hall, and the girl like doesn't even acknowledge him or whatever, and he just feels invincible. I mean, you could that guy's an incel, That guy is just miserable. But I don't buy the fact that he's like activated from media and stuff. I don't know. I just don't buy that.
Yeah.
Again, you want to make that criticism? I'm all for it because is the media absolutely garbage? Yeah, it's all fake news. No, it's stupid. Like, but the idiots that believe this stuff, they're not the ones going out killing people. That's my point. Like,
yeah. Well,
you believe this stuff. You sit in a basement in your chat rooms and you just talk. You're like,
well, there's other psychological things going on in your head too. So let's wrap it up here because I don't want to get on this tangent. Sorry.
Oh, you don't like me talking politics?
No.
I was thinking about starting I was going to start a political podcast.
No, yeah, we can do that, but just let's wrap this up because I just don't want to talk politics for an hour on the podcast. I have to edit all this.
Well, feminists, write in your complaints to Futro Movie Gems. FutroMovies@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review. Unless you're a feminist, leave us a 6-star review. And personally write into us. And I want to hear your complaints because I watched this movie and I liked it, and I think you all would too.
I highly doubt a bunch of feminists are going to listen to a bunch of guys. Just do our Borat impressions.
Very nice.
Dr. Yamaka, think a woman has smaller brain than man.
Settle down, pussycat. All right, so we're gonna end this podcast before we get canceled. Dude, let's sign out.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
I like you. It's nice.